All right. What is going on? Get the camera set up. Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll keep that nice and low. And we'll swap on over. Hold on. Uno momento. I have to swap it from 4K to regular 1080p real quick. That's me, by the way. It's my window noise. Apologies. We got to bump this up to 250 frames or shutter rate. And we can go ahead and change the ISO. Because I film all my fly time videos in 4K, so... Oh! Give me 1 sec. Deactivate, activate, and we're good. Just gotta put it on automatic focus here. I always forget because I'm filming fly time videos. Speaking of which, I need to figure out what's going to be the next video, so... Yo, Fish Mechanic. What's up? How you doing? Paul Bridgers. Hope you're doing well, dude. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Alright. Crack open a fresh Polar Spring. I love these things. My throat always dries up because I'm yapping so much while I'm streaming. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Alright. Well, make sure I don't dox myself here. We got a bunch of goodies that we can play with. Attempted your first fly. Oh, very nice. So did you found your old vise? I think you were talking about you had a vise, right? So what, did you end up getting some materials or something? Or find some materials? Didn't go well? Post it in the Discord. Let's take a look. Nah, that's alright. That's part of the fun of fly time. The good thing is the fish don't really care. Doesn't need to be perfect. But we got a bunch of different stuff here. We got some Bill's Body Braid. Some nice looking stuff. I've been using this for like 20 something years plus. I usually wrap on bodies, but we're going to be doing some loop fly activities. Like, I kind of want to do some loop fly technique and incorporate it with some different flies. So, somebody did ask if we could tie a giant one. I'm kind of half tempted to tie like a big 4-aught 6-inch version. But this is great. I want to tie some smaller stuff for white perch in particular and see if I can go catch some white perch or something. Or maybe even like just some trout or steelhead stuff or something. Even though I don't really do that sort of fishing much. A little sample pack. Just some random easy body tubing. There's like some silver tubing. Some different stuff. Some Bill's Body braid. Very nice. And then we got Easy Body. And this is like the original sort of... This is the OG stuff. Any sort of tubing you see like this. There was another tubing as well that Jack Guardside had. Corsair tubing or something. But Easy Body I've been using for a very, very long time. There's a lot of like knockoff stuff you see nowadays. But you could tell the difference in the quality and stuff. But he sent me a bunch of different colors. So we have, this is the one that I pretty much always used. Like a pearl with the black lateral line. This is like what I really liked using for sand eels, for instance. This was kind of like the OG color. And then you got the Easy Body like sand eels or the Easy Body candies, which you've seen me tie before, which this is Captain Bill Murphy, who owns and operates the company, so very cool dude. But so we got a bunch of different colors here. So like I'm thinking, what do we do? And there's different sizes as well. This is the other thing. This is the like, somewhat larger size. And this is what you want to use for, I think, more like traditional, just like straight tying on the shank, if I'm not wrong. As opposed to something like the Flex. Well, I guess this is the same thing. It's just Easy Body. I guess the larger it is, the easier it is to do that like cone head technique. But I like this transparent style as well. This makes me want to tie like one of those big oceanic sand eels where you like the barracuda sort of flies or something. Get out of here, Anonymous. Christina? Is that your sister? Get the hell out of here. Alright. Posted? You need a better recommendation for thread? Yeah, I'll take a look here in a sec. And then look at this. This is some jumbo tubing. This stuff's pretty cool. I feel like we could tie like some interesting giant squid body or something on a piece of I don't even know. This stuff's sick. I know, you know, you can't say anonymous on the internet nowadays. So this is the super skinny stuff. I use this for some surf flies. I feel like you want to use this for like micro sand eels though. And you do the entire body with a piece of mono, have a tail, have it sticking off the hook shank like this. I mean, to be fair, you probably don't even need the mono. This is fairly stiff the way it is. All right, we're going to play around with some Easy Body stuff. I think what we should start off with is some sort of sand eel fly. That's what I'm thinking. But I want to try the style where we tie the entire fly is made of Easy Body. Let me take a look here. Let's take a look and see. Oh, everything's going good, dude. Can't complain. Well, I can complain, but I'm not going to on the internet. I might complain about the fishing, but... Let's take a look at the Discord here. Look back at your Discord 2025. Get out of here. Everybody's got a thing nowadays like that. Oh, and if you haven't, Hold on. Every time I need to do this, I don't know why. My streaming computer is quite old, so give me one sec. I always gotta deactivate and activate it. Okay. Old Elgato capture card I got. 8 years old now. If you haven't, check out the Loopfly video. This, God, I love getting ads on my own video. But we got almost 2008 views in the first 3 days, so shout out. And we're sitting right almost at 4,000 subscribers. We're real close on YouTube. But this video did really good. And it wasn't hyped or anything. I know you can, like, hype videos for free, I want to say, or something. I saw it the other day. Hypes. No? I've been watching a lot of Magic Arena stuff. I saw something the other day, hypes. And what you can do is you can hype a video for free. Like, everybody gets 5 hypes a day, and it, like, promotes the video. I thought people were paying money to hype my Albiho video. But you can do it for free. I just don't know if you can do it to every video. And I don't know if I could do it to my own. So what if I go to, like, LSV's MTG video? Can I hype his video? I've seen people say it's in the comments, but I don't think it is. I think it's only, like, YouTube has to make it to where your video can be hyped, I think. So, if you ever see that option on a YouTube video you like, though, you get 5 hypes a day. You can hype up a video. So, I don't know how they do it. I thought this video was hyped, but I guess the algorithm just kind of, which, I mean, 3,000 views in 3 days isn't that crazy for YouTube. But for us, it's pretty good. So, I'll take it. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. I got to figure out what the deal is with this hype stuff. Because I want a Albiho video, the Lot Lizard, got hyped. And that one did really good. But this one is unhyped. Just au natural. Yeah, well, shout out to Bill from EasyBody. Reaching out, he's asking for some help with, like, social media stuff in terms of just getting, like, updated on YouTube and all this and that and yada, yada, yada. And we were talking, and I was like, dude, you know, I've been using your stuff for, like, ever since I was a little kid. So he's like, let me send you a bunch of stuff to try out. I was like, sounds good to me. So shout out to Bill from EasyBody. Awesome guy. We might end up doing, like, some collaborations for their YouTube channel. We're trying to help them get their YouTube figured out. Oh, let me take a look at your fly, dude. I completely forgot. I got so sidetracked with my own video. My own ego got in the way. I'm sorry about that. Completely forgot. First off, we got Craggerroll, which, beautiful looking stuff. He's these, like, sculpins and trouts and all that. I love it. Orange bee chain looks nice. Good stuff as always. Oh, he's going to Chile. Chile. That's what it is. And of course, we got Fishing Mechanic, better known as Narcan Accident. I saw your name. That was making me laugh. Honestly, dude, this looks so much better than I thought it would. Like, this is a perfectly serviceable Clouser. I will say you might have a little too much material on here. But honestly, it looks pretty good. If you used half of the amount of blue, I think you'd be off to the races. I definitely see you're probably using some sort of... Are you using, like, sewing thread or something? Or are you using actual fly tying thread? For, like, the first 2-3 years of my tying, I used, like, sewing thread. And it worked. But I'll show you what sort of threads I use. But, I mean, dude, you could perfectly fish this. Perfectly, like, you could take this, go fishing. You'd perfectly, I mean, you'd definitely go catch fish. Like, if I gave you one of my Clousers, I mean, you could say maybe if it was like they were keyed on a sparser thing or something, right? Maybe one clouser or whatever. But I mean, one thing you're going to learn is the fish aren't like looking at the flies like we are when it's sitting on the vise in particular. But it looks great, dude. Looks great. The one thing you got to watch out for is not too much material. So if you want this to flip over, then you want to make sure you have more material on top than bottom, but make sure you have less material overall. But, I mean, dude, you should have seen with my flies. They did not look like this. I wish I kept my, like, first flies using, like, blue jay feathers that some cat probably killed a bird in my front yard, and I took some feathers or something and whatever. Some random bird feathers because the cats in the neighborhood were going crazy. The thread isn't taut enough to hold the fly together. So using Danville's Heavy Flat Floss 4-strand Rayron. All right. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'll show you what you can get, or what I use. They make Danville and Unimono, or Uni thread. They make this Unimono, which is from Uni, and then Danville makes a monofilament thread, which I really love. I just don't have any at the moment. And this is clear. It's like a monofilament, just like your fishing line, right? Or just like a leader material. It is somewhat easier to break, but it won't build up as much. And then the next step, these are what I like using, is Danville 210 denier flat wax nylon. I'll put that in the Discord. I'll type it. But it's a thick enough thread to where it's very durable and it won't break very easily, but it won't build up super strong. I will say if you're new to fly tying, maybe don't use this because this will build up much quicker and you'll get those giant bulky thread heads that you see a lot in new fly tires. But that being said, you will break the thread on something like this mono much easier than something like this 210 denier. Yeah, I'll hold up one with the sticker. Hold on. Where's one with the sticker? Do I have 210 denier with a sticker? I might not. There's the Flymaster. Oh, here we go. Nope, that one's used as well. What about this one? Does this one have a sticker I could show you? Yes. These both work. This one's what I would say is like almost like not a rougher thread, but it doesn't have the wax finish on it. So, hold on. These are the two that I use. So Danville 210 denier, which is the denier 210, is the like strength and the thickness of it, right? And then there's two types: the flat wax nylon, which has wax on it, right? It just makes it more durable and it doesn't fray as easy while you're tying with it. And then the Flymaster Plus is just like another type of thread. It's a little bit rougher in the hands, which I don't like when I'm tying for like 10 hours, and this is like constantly in between my fingers as I'm tying. But I accidentally ordered a bunch of it, and it's pretty much the same stuff as this, just without wax. So I like the wax thread because it cinches down on itself very well. That being said, you should use stuff like super glue, and like at pivotal points when you're putting in those dumbbell eyes, you can put super glue on that area, stuff like that. So it's just personal preference. The flat wax I like because it like I said, it cinches on itself, so it really like digs into the thread. I wrap really hard with my thread to the point to where you'll see me break the thread sometimes on stream. Usually when I switch from monofilament or switch from a thread like this to monofilament, I start breaking it a lot because I got to find the break point and get used to it. But not only do I use stuff like super glue and whatnot, but I also use a lot of strength and cinching down the ties to, what do you call it? Make sure that the fly is durable. Yo, Brew, thank you, my friend, with the 71 months. By the way, I went and updated all of the alerts. We have alerts on YouTube now. I didn't make a custom animation. Rev wants for gifted memberships. He wants a Lambert, like a an RX-7, a red one, to come out and drift and do donuts on the screen and throw like gift subs out of the window. I don't have a degree in computer sciences, so I don't know how to do that. But I did at least add YouTube memberships, and I adjusted all the noises so that way we don't hear that. We don't hear that loud fishing thing like super loud. So I made it a little quieter, and you should have. It's too bad I changed the text to speech. It took me about 6 years to finally find him, but I found him. It's the best text to speech voice of all ever created. I'm sure if you've ever watched Twitch or live streams in the past, you know who it is. I was like, oh my god, I could have done this so long ago. But thank you, Brew. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Rev got on my case. He was like, you don't even have alerts on your YouTube? And I did gifted memberships. Unbelievable. There you go. We got Rev coming in with the gift sub to Old Dirty Shinobi. Now let's see. I specifically set up a noise and a special thing for it, but I couldn't. It's not working. It's going to like a default thing. Give me a sec here. Oh, do I need to sign back into... Let me see if I can just... Shout out, Rev. Round of applause. Thank you, my friend. Is it automatically going to sign me in? I think it will. Okay. So, I got to make sure I don't dox myself here. Alert box. YouTube. Members. We'll do a test. You ready, chat? Members.
This is a test YouTube membership.
Hey. Now, why the hell doesn't it do that when I go... And I even looked up. I watched a video on how to do this. I don't think I'm going to dox myself here. Because that's blurred. I should be okay. Look, I made one right here. Right here. Has gifted 3 memberships to viewers, but when I click test YouTube gift members, it goes to a default version. So I don't know what the deal is here. Membership gift amount is 0. Why does it... It works here when I click it. But it's not... Maybe something's not right in the parameters or something. Must be like this isn't... Membership gift is amount 0. Because if I do 1, I don't think that's going to... Nah, see, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to have to watch a video or something. Because I even created this whole variation on the effect. Yeah, it's working on the preview. So I don't know why. It must be something in the triggering or like the condition or something. I don't know why. But thank you again, Rev. Going out to Old Dirty Shinobi 420. What a great name, by the way. Alright. I don't know how Bill got this material in the package. I've been playing with this material in my hands for like 10 minutes, trying to fold it into like a circle. I'm just going to leave it on the table. Instead of shove it into the bag. But I did set up alerts. Yeah, it's strange. Well, I don't know. I'll figure it out. All good. Yeah, I don't think it would work in the test preview in Steam Labs. It must be something like it doesn't recognize that I set that up for gift memberships in the test option. Which is like in the test option, when you click gift membership alert, that is the main, that's the default thing or whatever. I don't know where to find that or locate it because it said to create one, you create the variation. I couldn't, so there's got to be some weird thing I'm not figuring out. But anyways, thank you, Rev. Yo, Traveler Flies, aloha. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. So, what sort of hook are we going to tie this on? I kind of like a longer hook for this. And honestly, this isn't that long, but for this size tubing, I think we're okay. Now, ideally, you kind of want to like straighten the tubing to a certain degree. So I think what you want to do traditionally with a fly like this, because if we're tying like a little micro sand eel pattern, let's say, this might even be too big, this hook. Honestly, it might even be too big. This tubing is very small, so I'm thinking like it's got to be like we're tying like a sand eel that's like that big, right? Like summertime June, like matchstick sand eel. And honestly, it'd be more like this if you think about it, because they're taller than they are fatter. So I mean, no, this hook, let's try it with this hook. Now the question is, do we want mono running through here and then a little piece of material sticking out the back? Probably. Nah, I pretty much stopped fishing. I didn't catch a single fish in the surf. Last striped bass I caught was a random fish in the bay in like October at some point, or late September, early October. So, but I fished for like a month and a half straight, like at least 3-4 days a week fishing the surf, and I didn't catch a single striped bass. So that pretty much crushed it, because it was like at least 50 degrees. Now it's like 30 degrees. So I'm like, no, I'm good. Didn't catch anything, so like I'm probably not going to catch anything because there's not many fish around. If you got a spinning rod, you might be able to get one, but who would have thought? You kind of need like either the perfect setup or the perfect conditions for good fly fishing on the beach, or just an abundant amount of fish to where you can actually, like, you know, catch them on 6 miles of open surf. But go out fishing. I think I might just go for white perch or something. I might go for bass, but like I don't know. I'm kind of like, let me just start fly tying like crazy now or something, I guess. I don't want to crush your hopes and dreams. It's just my area in particular, me. Terrible. All right. I might go for other species in freshwater or like brackish or something. I don't know. Because I'm going to be trapped indoors, right? So I might actually just go, not even like, I don't know if I'll go surf fishing, but I might go and like fish the bay somewhere if it's not too cold one of these days, just so I don't go absolutely crazy, you know. I think we are going to tie this with mono. Yeah, black sea bass on the fly. There you go. Now the whole thing is that we kind of want to get like the hook through the tube, right? Am I stupid? I feel like we've tried doing this before or something, but I know we want to get the hook through there. So this is going to sit like this. I want the hook to come through right there. Let's see if we can figure this out. Hey, okay, yeah. I have some brain cells left. Oh yeah, dude. For sure, black sea bass or the you talking about the togs? Tautog? The blackfish? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get some crab flies going and go for it. My buddy in the city loves that. It's like his jam. There you go. You want it to sit something like this. Let me reposition this camera as well. Yeah, we want it to sit. We don't want it like too far back like that. We want it more like this, I think. And one thing I am going to do is take that out. We're going to put a tail on here. What should we use for the tail, chat? You guys can't see anything I'm doing either. Should we go feathers for the tail, or should we just do some like... Oh, maybe we go Bill's body braid. Little Bill's body braid off the back. Brush it out into a little fantail. Yeah, my buddy's caught some blackfish, and I know some other people that's caught blackfish. If you can fish up on the North Shore or anywhere where it's super rocky, you can throw like crab flies for them and stuff like that. If you want to cheat, you can always just soak one of the flies in crab juice, but you can catch them on straight up flies. But sea bass are very aggressive fish. We would catch them all the time while albie fishing. I feel like with blackfish, they are more likely to like actually pick, like, you know, smell your fly and stuff like that. Sea bass are pretty aggressive. But I think if you take a crab fly and bounce it in an area where there's a ton of blackfish, aka tautogs, you can, or tautogs, I don't even know how you pronounce it. You can catch them for sure, without a doubt. Let's use some Bill's body braid. This is why I got to get a Polar Spring. My mouth's getting dry from all this yapping. All right, can I just hold this in one hand and do this? Let's see. Do I have any pearl left? I think I do. Did I use it all? Well, I know I got this one, so. Oh, here we go. Let's use some of this stuff. Now, do we do like loops? I guess so. I guess we could try this loop technique that Bill was doing. Let me see this. Okay, I'm just going to put this down. I don't think it's going to unravel on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up a bunch of times on itself. And then fold back, fold again. That might be too much material, though. I feel like that's pretty good. Yeah, I think I've seen articles on the blackfish with fly, but sea bass is way more doable, I'm sure. Oh, did I let go of one? That's right. I'm actually going to move up more here. I don't actually want it to stick too far back, do I? This is where having the hook out of the vise would be easier, but I'm a stubborn dude, so I'm committed to it. If I learned over the years, if I tie the flies too fast on Twitch, then I run out of stuff to talk about. So if I can dilly-dally my way along the flies, fumble, I can fill up the time. I'm going to wrap this up here. It's easier to do off camera. I'm spinning the vise. What vise would you recommend for a beginner? Are the clamp on cheaper rotary ones decent? Mainly start for jigs like fuzzy. Yeah, 100%. Start there for like 30-40 bucks something. Brew, you could probably even get cheaper. Start with something super cheap and see if you like it, and get like just some basic simple materials, you know what I mean? And if you like it and you go from there, then you can always get something fancy like a Regal or, you know, a Renzetti, whatever. I always recommend Regal, you know me. I'm a Regal fanboy, but I mean, Regal's like the OG. You're gonna see a lot of like knockoff vices like Regals. So don't be confused. But any sort of old, cheap, basic starter vice is a good place to start, just to see if you like it. You know what I mean? I know you like rod building. You've been rod building for years, but who knows? You know, maybe you won't like fly tying or tying jigs for walleye or whatever. But maybe you will, and you like making your own spinner baits and all these whatever, you know, sort of freshwater lures that you're gonna want to upgrade in the future. So, but you probably won't even need to. You can use like cheap vice forever. It's when you get into tying more like complicated flies and techniques, and you're doing it all the time, that you may want to upgrade to a premium vice like this, because it's just so much more of a nicer experience tying on it, right? Yeah, if you get a Regal or something like this, like if you do like it and you upgrade to like their $200 version, that thing is gonna last you for like ever. So I mean, any sort of quality vice is gonna, if you take care of it, will last you for a really long time. The only time you're gonna run into issues is if you're someone like me and you're tying thousands of flies a year, to the point to where like it's like I'm a machine stress testing these sort of vices just by like open closing the jaws, everything. Like, you're never going to have any issues, because they just last forever, these vices. Just going to go ahead and tie this like so. We want to keep it super sparse as well. Like so, and then we got to tie that end as well. Then what we'll do is we'll take a marker, and we'll use the marker to add some color to the fly before we put some eyes on here. Believe it or not, I mean, the sand eels are probably more like that size, right? But one thing you learn about actual sand eels is that they are extremely sparse. So a lot of times the fish won't even eat your fly if it has too much material. So this is, we're going extreme sparse here, but probably could have made it maybe about half an inch shorter. I feel like maybe would have been a little bit more appropriate size. But there are, I mean, you know, you'd be surprised if you've ever seen a 3-4 inch, like a 3-inch sand eel, how skinny they are. We're just gonna throw a whip finish on this back now. I'm trying not to knock the camera around while doing this, so apologies. A little awkward. We'll throw super glue all over this thing. Not all over it, but oh, dude, that's so nice. It's so simple. It's such a... So now thinking that, I'm like, dude, I want to tie like 1,000 of these things. That was so nice. One material, pick up, boom, 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 boom. I'm over here tying kinky muddlers with like 40 different steps. Out of curiosity, can you brush out the easy body and spin mono in hand, close out the tail instead of doing that? Brush out the easy body, so just brush it out and then spin mono in hand, close out the tail. Just, I'm trying to understand exactly how you worded it, but yeah, there's probably a different way you could do that. I was just trying to see how Bill stacks them and then ties it on for, like, of course, obviously with tapered loops for that loop fly. What was I going to do? We're going to take some sort of marker here. Like this Copic. It's probably the most expensive marker I ever bought. You can't go wrong with a light olive, dude. Like, it just pretty much covers everything up here. The one thing is I put the lateral line up and down on the center, so that's my bad. Rookie move. Does look kind of cool though, like that. Oh, and you can't even see it. Damn it, Jerry. I just bumped the whole camera. So this is the Copic marker right here. These are nice. I think you can like hook it up to an airbrush or something and like blow out of it. I don't know. Oh, they smell so good too. Just the end section with a wire brush. Yeah, you can. But what I did is I wanted more material, so instead of just cutting a bunch of pieces and stacking it, and more movement, I just took the thing and looped it a couple times, tied it on, and then just cut it once and then brushed it. I don't know. It's either or. You can do however you like, you know. You can really do it however you like. We should use some red for the gills. Yeah, so we'll tie another one of these. That's the lateral line. That should be on the sides. And I want to tie it a little smaller. But this is like freaking on point, you know what I mean? Is that the tube material from Bill's? Yeah, so this is Easy Body is the company, or is it? Is it Easy? Yeah, Easy Body is the company, and Bill's Body Braid is a material. So Bill's Body Braid is made by Easy Body, essentially. This is, you know, they have Bill's Body Braid and they have the Easy Body line, essentially, but it's all under the same brand, owned by the same dude. Bill. Trying octopus hooks for a fly. No weights, though. Do you think I'd have a problem? Oh, you mean dumbbell eyes? Yeah, you're fine. Octopus hooks are great. Mark Soldati used them for a long time. So just tie the fly without the dumbbell eyes and maybe go for like more of like a 3D profile or something, you know? Just be mindful of your synthetic material and how much you're putting on there, essentially. But let it rip, bud. Second fly, let's go. Flies in the loop, I think will work here in my backyard, California Delta, and winter steelheads starting to make their way in the push of the king tides. Oh man! So does that mean you can get? Can you catch striped bass and steelhead in the same area? Or is the steelhead further north? I used your link this AM and bought some boxes of hooks, a large body braid roll, and then what colors they had in stock, and a grip more calf tails to tie stripe. What do you mean? Oh, from saltwaterflies.com? NASCARs? What link are you talking about? Is that what you're talking about? I think I have a link in my YouTube. It says where I buy materials or something. Or what do you mean? But very good. Sounds like you got stocked up on some nice materials. What'd you get again? You got okay. They all come through the Carquinez Strait. Ah, very cool. Yeah, it must be saltwaterflies.com is the link, right? It's gotta be. Let me take a look. Gotta be. Yep. Good dude, man. Chris Windrum, saltwaterflies.com. I've been buying materials from him since I was literally 8 or 9 years old, and it's been over 20-something years now. Good, I'm glad. It's pretty much the only place I buy materials from nowadays, except some local shops, but man, they've been pricing me out, seems like. Because the prices are on point with any large company, like, you know, larger company, I'll say. And he was like the OG, like one of the original websites with saltwater fly tying material on like the entirety of the internet. Quite literally. So he's like been doing it almost longer than anybody. And the website has not changed since I've been a little kid. But you know what? It goes to show that he's built up such like a everybody just, I mean, you know, me, like I've only bought material from him even before I worked with him and sold him flies and all that and tied flies for him. So I think people that just buy from saltwaterflies.com just have been doing it for so long. It's like you just don't even, I wouldn't even go anywhere else. He's got everything I need. It comes in like a couple days usually. He's just always on point. And we want to put the eyes kind of further back. Now, how do we secure the eyes? Liquid fusion? I don't know if I want to put UV resin on it. I'm thinking liquid fusion. I'm putting super glue underneath, but that's like a joke. That's really not going to be doing much. You could UV resin the head, but I feel like that kind of screws up the body, easy body. I feel like a liquid fusion is less intrusive, and it also dries super thin. So I think that's what we're going to use. We could try it. Should go fish the surf, throw this little sucker over there. Yeah, I think we need the next size up tubing. Honestly. That one is super, super, super skinny. Or we just go, we cut it down to probably this long. We'll tie another one. We cut it down to like that long, and we go on a size shorter hook. 2 sizes shorter. Do you think it would be difficult to tie a weightless with 4 colors? No. Look, you can do whatever is within your realm of whatever's in your skill set. So you're just limited by what you can do with the vise. Nobody is saying that you can or cannot do it. As long as it doesn't hit the water and float like a piece of bread, as long as it turns over properly, you can do whatever you want with the fly. So it doesn't matter the colors and the configurations, the types of materials. This is why saltwater fly tying is the best. Nobody can tell you nothing. So I'd say go with whatever you're most confident in color-wise. Just, again, be mindful of how much material you're putting on the fly and where you're just... Think about, like, you're trying to shape the material by... You're trying to shape the fly by where you're tying the material at different lengths, different areas of the hook, whether it be top, bottom, or the sides, different lengths so you can get different profiles, and also different areas on the hook. Do you want to be tying... You're going to start around the hook point, like around the barb potentially, or around the hook point, and then you're going to move up towards the front, so you want to try and keep it level to where you don't have too much material in the back or the front or the middle. You try and keep it somewhat cohesive, if you will. All right, we'll put some liquid fusion. I think what we really need to do is let it dry, because the Copic marker's not fully dry. Is your third order? Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad. I'm glad. Chris is an awesome dude. I was hoping, I was trying to get you guys like a discount code or something is what I was working. I was like, look, dude. I entertained the idea with him. He's like, maybe, it's also like, figuring this stuff out somewhat. Tech savvy, but even without that, I love saltwaterflies.com. But I'm always looking out for you guys. If you want to order directly from squimpishflies.com, use LI Flies Mike and get 15% off. I think they had a 30% off, I think, Black Friday deal going on. But what do you call it? And I don't make any money off that or nothing, so that's all just pretty much for you guys. They're just awesome. But you notice I pretty much only work with people that I enjoy dealing with, business-wise and fishing-wise and personally, whatever. Doesn't mean if I'm not working with a company I don't like them, but you won't see me work with companies that I wouldn't use or don't use on a daily basis. Or haven't used, whatever. Put some liquid fusion on here. Should probably put some on the tail. Just struggling to focus, I can't tell. I feel like I gotta clean my lens. It is a very small fly, so I don't blame the camera struggling here. I'm also used to looking at it in 4K and not 1080p. In 4K, like, the difference is crazy. I don't know why it took me so long to start filming my... I mean, I will say it has eaten up about at least 3 terabytes of storage. All the different fly tying videos that I've made this past year. It's about 3.5 terabytes of HD. Maybe not 3.5 terabytes. Maybe like it's 3 terabytes or something. But I have 2 terabyte Seagates. So, external hard drives, and one's completely filled with 4K fly tying stuff and old fishing footage, because I want to keep all that stuff. And then the other one's filled with battle reports and mostly fly tying. Yo, Peekabaz, what's up? How's it going, dude? Let's get some tunes going. And yapping my brains off over here, huh? Oh, what's that, Bruce? Sorry, I missed you, brother. Maybe, you know what? I'm pretty certain I can't say anything because I think I can get banned, Brew. So you can watch on whatever platform you want to watch, or which is the better experience. But I have to be careful. I don't, like, technically, I don't even think I can acknowledge when people gift memberships or donate on YouTube, because Twitch is so petty about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna. You want to know my? I'm not trying to tell you guys to go watch my YouTube stream. You can watch Twitch on Twitch. You can do whatever. You want to know what I do when I'm not streaming? I watch all streams on YouTube. I think if somebody streams just on Twitch and not on YouTube, I think they're missing out nowadays. But and number one reason is ads. Now I don't run ads during my stream on Twitch, but there are some ads on YouTube, but it's very short and you can like click through it. That's like YouTube does its thing. I can't really help that. You know, they have to pay for their servers or whatever. But yeah, that's the thing about Twitch. It's just the ads. So any larger content creators that are like running like 7 minutes of ads every hour, and it's always 3.5 minutes of unskippable ads, that's the issue for me personally. But you can watch it on whatever platform you like. Oh, yeah. Well, technically, if you have YouTube Premium and you watch any YouTube video, it's the same thing as you getting an ad. So if you watch a YouTube video, the person who made the YouTube video is getting ad revenue, just like if somebody watched an ad, even though you're not getting ads. And that's one of the benefits of YouTube Premium is you don't get ads, and content creators still get paid for people who have Premium that watch their videos. So that's the cool thing about Premium. I would like YouTube Premium, but it's just a whole nother sub, you got to pay for. So I got my free Twitch Prime on Twitch. I go subscribe to Djibouti Show, and then I go watch on maybe somewhere else. Still watch their stream, but you get what I'm saying. I gotta be careful. There might be some Twitch mods that are listening, but there's probably like some, there's probably some sort of hot tub stream they're probably watching or something. I will say what I love about Twitch is the chat, like their chatting experience. And if you want to like chat all the time, I think it's better watching on Twitch, but I don't know if it's worth it. But YouTube's stepping up their game. Like Twitch has better chatting experience in terms of just emotes and how to talk to other people in chats and stuff like that. But a lot of times I'm a lurker. I don't even chat. And I think a lot of people here that watch my stream don't even, they kind of just lurk, whether they're tying or they're just watching. And I just put on a stream while I'm either working or doing something, or I'm hanging out or playing a game and it's in the background, whatever. And then sometimes I'll get active and chat and talk if I'm feeling chatty. What sort of hook do we want to use here? Yeah, it's kind of you know, I love Twitch. We've been streaming here forever, but I'm happy we're streaming on both platforms for sure. Thank God. Oh yeah, this is a hook that we can use, the S11-3H. By the way, this hook, if you don't put it right in this vise, it will break. It'll break the hook. There were a couple of these that like shattered because it wasn't sitting right. And I snapped them in half. It's the bulldog bite, baby. Yeah, you know, YouTube. The thing with Twitch is the people who have been watching on Twitch for years are like really like they're like hardcore Twitch users, or just people who have been, you know, that's the viewing experience they like. But because like I think a lot of the people who watch on Twitch, it's like almost like a different sort of experience than if you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. It's what do you call it? It's very interesting. I think Twitch is I don't know. I'll stop talking before I get banned or something. How about that? It's like 1984 George Orwell. I got to be careful with what I say. They might be watching. Again, I like the people who stream on Twitch for the most part, and the like communities and stuff, but like the way they run it, it's just terrible. Anyways, enough Twitch bashing while I'm streaming on Twitch. That's a classic Twitch experience, though, is bashing Twitch while streaming or watching Twitch. That's part of the Twitch viewing experience, baby. Oh, your dumbbell eyes came in. Look at that. Now you don't need to go weightless. I like how you kept calling it weightless, too. You're like, I'm going to do another weightless. Nah, there's some cool Twitch agents out there. There's probably, it's like your FBI, the FBI agent who watches you through your webcam. Like, there's some cool guys, right? I remember back in the day, we had a couple Twitch mods come through, cool people, while we were either tying or like playing guitar. But that being said, somebody run Picaboz's paperwork, all right? Because he might be a spy. Jerry, take him down to the basement. Get the car battery set up. Immediately go into like waterboarding mode. Who do you work for? Who does number 2 work for? God, what a classic scene in Austin Powers. Give him hell, buddy. Give him hell. Just bite your lip. We're going to get through this together. It's such a good scene. Who does number 2 work for? Oh, I remember Peekaboz. Believe me, I remember hearing it. Some of you folks been watching for a long time, dude. I've been watching Twitch for a long time. Yeah, no free empanadas, huh? I'm sure Jerry's giving away for free. Our profit margins are terrible. Can't ever seem to make any money on the empanadas around here. So this time, I'm gonna do that again because well, I guess it is. Nah, that was fun. I'm doing it again. I don't care. Excuse me. I should have muted myself. I didn't know that was like a closed mouth burp, but hopefully it didn't pick up too loud. Try not to belch on stream. All right, where the hell is that mono? Here we go. Who remembers Blocked Wizard? Yeah, if you're around long enough for Blocked Wizard. Was I fly tying under the name Blocked Wizard? Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, I was. That's kind of crazy. I guess I was still like, well, maybe I can stream video games and fly tying. That was actually maybe before the full... No, I feel like LI Flies was super... I wonder when I actually started, like... LI Flies, if you will. Didn't you hear? Okay, good. Perfect. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember. I don't even know now. It's been so long. I used to gauge it on how long it was since my one of my exes had a kid after we broke. It was not mine either. But it's been years now. It's been years. I don't even remember. It was right around when I quit my job being a mechanic and I pretty much started full-time fly tying. Was when I started, and then that was like there was that, and then that, and then I broke up with the ex-girlfriend, yeah, and there was that, and there was that. So it's probably like 5 plus it's probably like 8 or 9 years ago I started doing this full-time, literally full-time for a living, tying flies. How I haven't ended up in a van like Mike Ross down by the river is interesting. Hey, Dirty Mike and the boys. Mikey Smoked Meats. What do you got on sale today, Mikey? Huh? You got a couple. You got some Brajoul, or is Brajoul smoked? I don't even know. Isn't that, what is that? Is that like ham or something? Almost 6 years since you followed. Hell yeah, there you go. I think we've checked it. I think 2018 is when I got affiliate, meaning that I streamed enough to where I could like get subs and make money or whatever. So what's it now? 2025. So like 7.5 years or something. We've been streaming, and I was streamed longer than that. Like before that, I was streaming like gaming and stuff, like random crap. And I was streaming fly tying as well. Dude, you know what? There's nothing worse than, and not that I'm so proud that, I'm so happy that all you people that watch and support me and stuff, but obviously we're not like, I wouldn't say after 8 years of streaming or 7 years that I'm a successful streamer, you know? like at best we could do a certain amount of views and like, you know, this and that, and it's, you know, the money is pretty much, you know, non-existent, but that's fine. But luckily I don't rely. Wow, did I wrap the thread this way? What? There's no way. I must have got caught on something. What was I gonna say? Yeah, not very successful, but it's fun. I like doing it. Okay, this is like, what the hell's going on here, man? I think the thread got stuck or something. I kind of screwed myself by wrapping this on here and tying it. Let me just rip this off, because that mono is not secured, so I kind of like blocked off the thread, if you will. Let me just, I don't have the patience for this right now, so we're going to cut it. The trusty pair of Fiskars. Only caught one striper on the fly this year. Ah, dude. Well, I didn't do very good. I didn't catch a single fish by my house, which I've caught one every single April for the past 15, 20 years. Didn't catch one. And then didn't catch any fish How long is this? Is this just not long enough? Is that the issue? No, it should be more than long enough. And I caught some fish during cinderworm hatches, which you should catch fish during cinderworm hatches. They happen every year. I caught some fish off Block Island, which you should catch some fish. It happens every year. And then I didn't catch pretty much anything after that. I caught one random fish in the bay, but I fished for 2 months in the surf and didn't catch a single fish in the surf, so... Like, the fishing's just absolutely been terrible. Okay, that's at least secured. Yeah, fishing was not very good. Thank God, I think I caught more albies than I did in like a month than I caught of stripers in the entire season, which is kind of crazy. It's honestly super depressing, but whatever. Boat's going on land Monday? Okay. Yeah, you gotta pull it out. I gotta clean my boat. There's like some pine needles and crap. I gotta clean it up, wash it up, and then like fully cover it with like a tarp or something. I gotta do that. It's getting cold. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the striped bass population is just on the decline. There's been terrible spawning results. A lack of action by the ASMFC. So, I mean, it's honestly, I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to be like 5 to 10 years before we start seeing like good striper fishing again. And that's if like they get a bounce, right? They need to have like, some good spawns. But the past couple years of spawns, like the reason why we're not catching a bunch of fish and seeing a lot of these schoolies inshore and all the spots is like 5 years ago or whatever, however many years ago the spawn was where it was absolutely terrible and it's been pretty bad. Those are the size fish that you would regularly catch on the fly, like schoolies and stuff like that. In between like 18 to 30 inch or 28 inch, whatever it is, 26 inch. There's just not a lot of biomass of fish that size. You have fish over 30 inches or 28 to like 36 or like even bigger and stuff like that. There's more fish in that size than there is in small fish, which is an issue because in 5 to 10 years from now, the fish that are small now, which we have very little of, those will then be the big ones. You know what I mean? So, did the mono get flipped? Is that what happened here? I'm not gonna worry about it. Works perfectly fine. I think like the mono went underneath the braid instead of on top, but whatever. Works all right. I was wondering what the hell was going on there. Yeah, I think the mono went underneath. That's just annoying. It's alright though. I guess the mono doesn't actually have to be secured here. In reality, it just needs to be tied there, but I wanted it to be secured. So, that's fine. I think we're going to glue the eyes on with super glue and then do it. I mean, dude, I had some of the sickest looking troughs I've seen all year. I mean, in the past, like, I don't even know, dude. Like, some of the sickest looking terrain I've seen in years. Not a single fish. Crazy, crazy holes that, like, I've never seen holes like this next to the beach where it drops, like, super deep. Like, there was, like, a giant seal sitting, like, 15 feet off the beach right in front of me. And then there was, like, beautiful rips, cut sandbars. Like, oh, dude, the structure was so good. That's one of the reasons why I kept going fishing every day. I was like, there has to be fish in this trough or this hole. Oh, dude, this is so annoying. The fact that this mono went to the bottom. It's like kind of pissing me off. I'm not going to lie. Because now, look, it's like... Can I just, like, spin it? Ah! I feel like I have to redo this again right here. Unbelievable. That's all my fault, by the way. The mono went to the bottom. It's just not sitting perfectly straight, so it's kind of driving me crazy. Let's just do this. Like, we did it so flawlessly on the first one, and this one I'm fumbling the bag big time. It's okay. I got a couple Swedes. that watch. We got a couple Norwegians, a couple Swedes. We got some folks in Denmark. For a while, I feel like I had more people watching from like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, that area of the world, and Europe than I did in the U.S. Still might actually have. Nowadays, though, I think we got a lot more folks in the U.S. that watch, but between like Doc and My Turn, like all these people from that side of the world. Because there's a lot of people that fly fish over there. So you're not special, Peekabahs. You thought you'd get like oh, my Swedish viewer, of course. You're not special. You're just like all the other Swedes that watch me. No, I'm joking. You're probably the only one watching right now. So I'll give you that award. You're my #1 Swedish viewer. If there's any other Swedes that want a contestant, that's up to you. Speak up. All right, where the hell is the mono? Is the mono up top this time? Yeah, I can feel it. Okay. Congratulations, my #1 Swedish viewer, Peekabahs. Round of applause, chat. Yeah, that's what I thought. The Swedes are awfully silent tonight. Let me go ahead and throw a whip finish on here because apparently this one fell apart in the madness. I like how we just like retied certain sections of this fly 2 times minimum each. Just for fun, you know? Like, why not? Cinch that down nice and tight. And we'll make sure we smack it with some super glue so it doesn't fall apart on us again. I always love these flies, dude. I remember when like I first saw this style of Sandio fly, because you know, comparably, like Lou Tabery flies or like even, you know, some of Popovic's surf candies, you know, they look amazing and stuff, but the ones, you know, you got to realize fly tying in the 90s was pretty different. Like Popovic's surf candies in the early 90s didn't look like they did in the later years, you know what I mean? And just fly tying in general has evolved so much, and the quality of like the, like almost like the flashiness and standard of our fly tying, like I think people were like, if you don't need to like go above and beyond, if it works, it works. Nowadays we're doing all sorts of crazy stuff in fly tying, and it's more so for us than it is to fish, I feel like, a lot of times. But when I first saw these style of Sandio flies, I was like amazed, because a lot of what you would see in the 90s and stuff was very basic Sandio flies, were pretty much like surf candy style variants with pretty much just, it's always something super simple, either like one color, like, and then some peacock curl on top, like Lou Tabery's little Sandio fly that I used to fish all the time, which was like a variation of like a surf candy type fly. And then you'd have like some clousers and stuff. But I remember this sort of like easy body fly. I was like a little kid. I was like, whoa, that looks just like a freaking Sandio. Like it's pretty tough to get any more spot on than that. One thing is, this sort of fly is not the sort of fly you're going to be, it's not like a flat wing, right? You're not going to have all that movement. Like, I don't think you're going to be wet fly swinging this sort of fly. This is the sort of fly that you're fishing like a blitz, or you're blind casting a rip and you're stripping it. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Yo, what's going on, Jay? Easy braid is great stuff. The cone fly, Jack's guard side floating minnow. Yeah, I feel like didn't he have his own tubing way back in the day or something, I feel like. Or was it just Easy Body? I remember he had the black. It was like a black version with like the black stripe down the side. Yeah, dude, Jack Guardside's website was so cool, by the way. I used to go on his website all the time. Well, yeah, that I feel like that sounds about right. Leans. So what you're saying is Picabaz is a fraud. He's a little too braggadocious about the Swedish thing. It's actually not really Swedish of you for speaking up about it. Yeah, I think it was like Corsair Tube or something, I remember, or something. It's virtually like very similar. But Jack Guardside, we should definitely make a video on Jack Guardside. I got to do, see, this is the winter time is the perfect time for this sort of thing. We're going to be doing a video on Bill Catherwood, which, again, speaking of Bill from Easy Body, he has a collection, and I think he has some of Bill Catherwood's original flies. So I want to get some photos of like people send me photos of Bill Catherwood's flies that they have, because I know some different people that have a collection or have flies, like Chris from saltwaterflies.com. But another person I'd like to do a video on is Jack Guardside. Flip palette. Yep. So the one thing is, I want to focus on guys that I feel like are lesser known nowadays to the younger generation or newer fly tires. Of course, I could do a video on Bob Popovic's Flip Palette, Lefty Cray, Bob Klauser, and we may in the future. But I want to start and focus on some of my favorite fly tires that I'm sure a lot of you guys don't even know, unless you've been fly tying since the 90s or since the early 2000s. You know, like when you hear me talk about some of these folks like David Skoke, or like we can go more old school, we can go like Harold Gibbs, we can go Bill, what do you call it? Bill Catherwood. There's a lot of great fly tires that, and there's so many people that I just can't think of offhand, but Joe Brooks like really pioneered just fly fishing in general back then, but he was like the dude. You saw an old Joe Brooks trout book, yeah. That's how you're getting ready to go to Chile? But the funny thing is, I mentioned this, especially Bill Catherwood. Everyone that I talked to, like I talked to Henry Cowan and all these people, I think Bill Catherwood is the most innovative saltwater fly tire of all time. Or one of the. I guess you could say probably Bob Popovic's is probably the, but I think Bill Catherwood is the Bob Popovic's to Bob Popovic's. You know what I mean? Like Bill Catherwood sort of did that Bob Popovic's looked at, and he was like, man, that guy's really, you know, maybe not in particular. I know he did like his fly tying, if I'm not wrong from talking to different people, but like Bill Catherwood paved the way for Bob Popovic's to do what he did. You know what I mean? And all these different fly tires. Because if you looked at fly tying in the 50s, saltwater fly tying, literally Bill Catherwood was like, it's like he's tying flies today, but back in the 50s. That's what it looks like. Maybe not modern day like hollow ties and stuff, but his deer hair spinning and all that and tying his pogey flies. I mean, if I tied one of those flies right now, you guys would be like, dude, that looks sick. Like that fly is amazing. You wouldn't think it was developed in the 50s. Because if you look at a lot of other flies from the 50s, it's like bucktail and a piece of hack, or like, and a piece of peacock curl, and then they paint eyes on the front, like a blonde or something. You know what I mean? Like very, very simple flies. You compare that to something like in the early 60s or something, or 70s. You have Bill Catherwood literally tying like 3D profiled bait fish with natural colors, and this is how I tied too back when I first started, like tying a mullet fly. I wasn't thinking about the 3D profile of a mullet fly like Bill Catherwood was. You know what I mean? You tie a deceiver does not look like a mullet in the water. Like a deceiver is a great fly, right? But a deceiver cannot look. I don't care if you tie a 6, 7-inch, 9-inch deceiver, it will not look like the true profile of a bunker, right? You're going to need to go to a fly like a big hollow fly, a beast, a Mark Sadati slammer, Henry Cowan's Magnum baitfish sort of fly. You need that 3D profile to achieve like a true representation of what these different baitfish look like. It's easier when you're tying something small like this. You could tie just a small amount of bucktail and it's good enough. You know what I mean? But Bill Catherwood was like, all right, well, how do we imitate like these bunker or something? Because when I tie feathers on a hook and some bucktail on it or something, when you look at it from the side, it kind of looks right. But when you look at it from this way or that way, you know, it not only does it not look right, it doesn't necessarily swim the way that he wants it to and stuff. I don't know. I'm very excited. We'll definitely have to make a video on. I kind of wrote out the outline last, like in March or April, and I was meaning to do it, but then we got busy and we were working and this and that. I don't know. We'll find the time at some point, but that is a video I'm very excited to make. Because the cool thing is, everybody I've talked to, and these are all my heroes in fly tying, you know, like Chris Windrum and Henry Cowan. But being able to talk to these people, and like Bill from Easy Body, all these old school dudes that have been doing it even longer than me. What do you call it? I can get, you know, I can reach out to different people and, you know, get some information about these guys. Because I didn't get to meet Bill Catherwood. I think he passed away maybe at some point in, like, I want to say early 2000s or something. I forget when it was. I did some research on him when I was writing up my outline, but for the video. But decorated veteran as well. I believe of the Second World War. I think, if I'm not wrong. But very cool dude, nonetheless. I'm excited to make a video on him one day. I think he's probably one of the most important people in saltwater fly tying of all time. I don't know if you could say but I generally think if you didn't have people like Bill Catherwood, then you wouldn't have people like Bob Popovics. So you can, it's like the, you know, butterfly effect. Roland Martin. There you go. There's some legends. And, you know, it's a lot of younger folks or even older people that just recently got into fly fishing or fly tying don't, you know, they may know about, like, Bob Popovics and stuff for people, but they might not know about a lot of these fly tyers. Like Jack Artside, dude. Jack Artside's, like, one of my OG favorite fly tyers. And just, I remember being a kid and seeing him floating around on a giraffe, an image in, like, Boston Harbor. But his fly time was really nice, and he did a lot of, like, he was tying with, like, marabou and, like, a lot of movement in his flies, you know? Kind of helped me get in tune with, like, and more open to the idea of, like, Kenny Abrams sort of flies. He had his, like, soft hackle fly, I think it was. I really wish, dude, that Jack Artside website was so good. Oh, man, there was only so many places you could go online and look at fly tying back in, like, the late 90s. Early 2000s. I don't know if anyone remembers that Jack Artside website, but it was so good. He had all of his like flies and how to tie them and stuff. It was so good. All right, I need to grab another seltzer here. My throat's already drying out here from yapping so much, but there we go. I feel like the execution on this one wasn't as flawless, obviously. But pretty simple. I think this seems about right. I almost feel like I should go shorter for this size tubing, but anyways, that being said, I think so. This is the ultra thin tubing. This is just like something I got sent. I think what you want to use is they have a little bit smaller size, something like this. This is the size I usually used to use, which is the next step up. So I would use something like this, which maybe we'll just do that next on one of those larger hooks. Yeah, so ideally, I think with this thin, I think you want the fly to be like that big. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give these to Aiden to go chuck around. Maybe he'll go catch like barracuda on them or something because he's going down to the Caribbean. So we'll give him a bunch of random flies. Like I feel like these are needlefish, so these are perfect for something like that. He can go catch some like barracuda somewhere or something. I got to time a bunch of bonefish flies. I got to get going on that. So probably need to reach out saltwaterflies.com and pick his brain a little bit and get some materials ordered. That picture of him in the giraffe floating tube. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think the barracuda are going to be... I don't know if that's a very big hook, but I mean, I'm thinking something will probably eat it. I'm going to give him a bunch of random flies. Cuda snack, yeah, but they would normally have 2 hooks, like tandem, I think, if I'm not wrong. Easy body tubing is easily shaded with high liter pens. Works well. I'm not for... Oh, highlighters. Highlighter pens, really? I haven't tried that. I usually use either just Sharpies or this is like the creme de la creme if you have like a Copic, right? But I haven't tried highlighters before. Interesting. I have a highlighter downstairs. Maybe I can grab it. We could do a chartreuse one up top. Just do bonefish gotchas. Yeah. Is Bill's Body Braid and EP? Yeah. That's what I'm going to do a ton of. Yeah. Hey, we got a bunch of Bill's Body. This is a kid I used to work for. He was my boss essentially, but we were clamming, and he's going to be traveling the world. AC Fishing. You've seen him. You're going to see him here in a sec. He's the kid that's standing on the front of my boat. He's much larger now. That was him like when he was like 18 or something, or even younger. But what do you call it? He's traveling down to the Caribbean for like a couple years or so, and on like an offshore boat. And he's going to be like traveling on this offshore boat for like 2 years fishing or something. So he wants a bunch of different flies. So I said, I'm just going to tie a bunch of stuff. The Conamoy fly pattern, that XL body braid is great also. Yeah, the Pamet Special also uses something like that, right? Is the Pamet Special... Rich Murphy is the Conamoy fly pattern also a Rich Murphy pattern, or is that one the that's not a guard side, right? I'm trying to remember what the Conamoy fly pattern. I know you're talking about. It's like a sand eel style fly with the easy body braid on the head of it, right? And then the back of it is the material sticking out the easy body. Let me take a look. Conamoy Special? Wasn't that it? Oh, it is a Rich Murphy fly. Yeah. Yeah, it is a Rich Murphy fly. Yeah, maybe we tie one of these when we get back. This is a sick fly, actually. This could be fun to tie. So it's like a bullet within a bullet. Right? You like take all the material and like hold it out of the way, huh? Yeah, so you have like a spreader in the back. You tie all your material, you wrap it up, and then you do your thing there. Yeah, let's do this. It's another Rich Murphy pattern, which we've done. Amazon Sardine uses Easy Body. I'm not familiar with that one. There's a bunch of sick Easy Body flies. I like that though. I like this Conamoy Special. What can we use? 4-aught? I think a 4-odd's probably good. I mean, we almost want a larger one, larger hook, almost like a 6-odd, really, right? We kind of want a bigger hook, I think. I mean, I have different size tubings, so I feel like this one might. This one big enough? I feel like this is the side we use, unless I don't think this is the one, right? Maybe this is the one we want to use. That might be the one we want to use. But I feel like this is going to be too big, right, for this size hook. Yeah. Maybe we'll try it with this smaller. And then we'll tie it more like something like that. I feel like I need a 6-odd hook. I'm actually impressed that I didn't know if that was a Rich Murphy pattern or not. But I know it uses a very similar style fly to the Pamet Special. I need to know how to use the whip finisher so I can finish this fly. Whip finishers suck. Throw it in the garbage. But yeah, I'll show you. Do I have a whip finisher here? Oh, God, showing how someone to use a whip finisher is like going to be my torture in hell, I feel like. I think I lost my whip finisher, by the way. There's a little clip. So imagine you're like this. This is how you do it. I use my hands. So you're going to grab the thread with your whip finisher. It's going to be like this. Then you spin it to where it's a triangle. And then you wrap around and go over. Wrap around and go over. So essentially, you're creating a triangle. See, this is the pivot right here. Imagine my fingers are the whip finisher, right? Like this. All the whip finisher does is spread this open. And you twist it into a circle or into a triangle like this. And then you go... So let's say... To make the triangle, right, I'm wrapping it towards myself, right? So now I have this. So when I wrap on the hook, I'm going to wrap away. Because if I wrap towards myself, it's going to come apart, right? So I'm just going to wrap the opposite way. You can also just use your fingers like I did. But the whip finisher is very similar. It just goes whoop, 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 whoop. Let's say you need to hold material back while whip finishing a small dry fly. Yeah, that definitely helps whip finishes. But imagine you were tying small dry flies. What a loser. Oh, hey, Hayes, what's going on? Nah. I'm joking. We love the trout tires around here. We love you guys. Speaking of which, we had Swedes in the chat. Our number one viewer from Denmark, Hayes. Give it up. Round of applause. As long as you're not tying squirmy wormies, then. Otherwise, get the hell out of here. I'm joking. I really wonder if there was like somebody who watched us over the years that like genuinely thought like I hate people who use indicators. The indicator smash emote. And us talking so much smack on like squirmy wormies and using bobbers with your nymphs. That I'm sure somebody tuned in and was like, this guy's an asshole. I'll never forget that. I love telling this story. My buddy, Yo It's Okay, who every once in a while would tune into the stream, he essentially learned how to fly fish in saltwater after years of fishing, and we linked up. He was surf fishing, and he gave it a try, and he got 2-hand rods. But so he didn't know anything about freshwater fly fishing at all, and he does some fly fishing. He's definitely gotten better, but he doesn't get to fish all the time. But we go up to the Salmon River. He knows nothing about freshwater fly tying or fly fishing, other than maybe a little bit about trout or like bluegills, but nothing about like salmon or like steelhead fishing and like the nitty gritty of it. And he sees like all these guys. We pull up and everybody's got these big orange bobbers, like they're indicators, right? But they're using these like giant indicators. And he goes, "What the hell are these guys doing using bobbers?" And he was like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's how they trout fish. Or like steelhead. You have your nymph and you have your indicator. It's like, you know, keeping it 8 inches down. You know, so it's probably bouncing right along the bottom. And when they see the indicator, they set the hook." He goes, "That is the stupidest shit I've ever seen," and it was just one of the funniest. I was dying laughing because that's not my favorite way of fishing. Obviously, I don't like nymphing in general. I like throwing like streamers for trout, if anything. But it was just it was like such a guttural reaction. Like, why the hell are these guys using bobbers? It was so funny. I'll never forget that. That was like one of the funniest things in fly fishing I've ever seen was my buddy's reaction to people using the indicators. Coming from like a saltwater fishing world, he was like so disgusted by that. Oh, man. I'm proud to say, never fished an indicator in my life. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, right? I get it. But I can't do it. It, like, completely destroys fly fishing for me. I get it. I understand. It's kind of hard to nymph without it in certain places, and that's kind of how you do it. Unless you're, like high stick nymphing, you know, where you're, like, holding it high and you can adjust, but... Oh, that's literally, if somebody was like, "Yo, you can go on a world-class trip and we're going to go fly fishing, but you have to fish nymphs and you have to indicator fish." I don't even know if I would go. They were like, "That's the only way you can catch fish, though, is that way. And that's the only way you're allowed to fish legally is with nymphs and indicators." I don't know if I would take the trip. Like, that is the least exciting form of fishing to me. That being said, that's just me personally. But it was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen was his guttural reaction to people. It's like he had pure disgust at these guys fishing with these giant orange indicators. It's still one of the funniest things that it really does make me laugh to this day. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time talking about it, but it fucking makes me laugh every time. Go catch them up, Craggerol. Hell yeah, baby. Go do some indicator fishing in Chile. You deserve it, right? You've been working hard. You deserve it. All right. We're going to take a quick break. I need to, stretch my back out real quick. I'm going to grab another Polar Spring, and when we get back, we'll try and tie one of these Monomoy special. Is it Monomoy special? A Conomoy special? Conomo special. Yep. All right. We'll be back. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Stay tight, all right? Yeah, keep it tight. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Aiden. Knuckle buster. Are you good? Do you need me to do anything?
Yeah, I might need a ride. Yes.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna turn now.
I'm gonna try and get on the valve.
Yeah, get on the valve. All right, you're doing good. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna move us away.
Is that a little one?
No, that's a nice one.
Oh, let's go!
Come here, hold next to your alley. good job.
That's sick.
All right. Nice.
Let's go! Woo! Albie slap!
Good job, dude.
Yee!
You're in the back already?
Looking down the barrel of a 12 gauge little tuny, bro. On the Albihar too. Oh my god, dude! What the fuck? Woohoo! Oh my god. Yep. Oh my god! I gotta turn the boat so I can cast. All right. Oh, let me turn my camera on. My bad. Just letting it cool down a little. All right. Let's try this. All right. Let's try this. I don't know. Is this gonna be big enough to make a nice head on here? I almost feel like we need a larger hook, dude, honestly, but let's try it. You know what? Let's cut a tube like piece like this. Also helps you take a lighter, fray the ends a little bit so it doesn't break up on us. I'm not the best with this technique. It's been a while, but let's try it. Oh, I got to... What am I doing? I got to do that after the fact. Like I said, it's been a little while. Pretty much Just gonna tie this. I think we can go this way, honestly. Fresh cut way first. This is the tricky part. We're gonna have to UV resin it, super glue it. Try and get it to stay somewhat stable for us. Wrap back on top anyway. Let's go ahead and throw some super glue on here. Might UV resin it. Super glue works. Well, the bottle's gotten, gotta get a fresh cut there on the bottle. It builds up a little dome of dried super glue on the top. I've just pretty much stopped putting the cap back on. And it doesn't dry up. This Amazon super glue works pretty good. I like Zap Gap too, but I can't always get it. Can't figure out this dumbbell eyes. How do you do it without the whip finisher? You saw how I do it. I'll show you again here in a sec. We're gonna do like a smaller version. Essentially what we're doing is creating a this is gonna create like a spreader, if you will, for our tail. You got it? Very nice. All right. Okay. Now for the materials, I guess we could use a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll probably just use all right, we're gonna use Steve for our fiber. I'm not tying it exactly to the recipe. I'm just kind of throwing my own thing together here. But I think it should be in the right flavor. You know, maybe... Is there a next... I feel like... No, this is probably the right size. I mean, theoretically, we could have gone with something like this, I suppose. But that feels like that's pretty big. I feel like we need a 6-odd for this size. I think this tube should do it. And maybe we do want to use the big one. Well, let's try it like this. Let's try it like this. This will be a little smaller one. I think we'll do like 60-40 ties, honestly. Excuse me. We don't necessarily need it to be like super. It's a 4-odd hook, so yeah, something like this should do just fine. And the whole idea, you can see, is that Easy Body kind of spreads that material and creates like a veil. It's the whole idea. And I think, no, I don't want to use too much material. I want to, because we're going to tie multiple ties, so. Let's go ahead and move this. I want to make sure it's evenly spread around. I can almost kind of V-tie this section to make it easier. You could see how, like, that tubing already gives us, like, kind of a crazy profile. I kind of... Hold on, I'm just reading the recipe real quick. I kind of want to keep it sparse. We're going to move forward. A couple more ties. We can add some color. Add a little color to it. Probably add a little bit more material. I don't want to go like too sparse. It's a very fine line of having too much material and not enough. One thing I've learned over the years. In fly tying. I think we'll V-tie the belly because that's just as easier to make sure that the material is evenly spread. Kind of doing like a 60-40 on top, V-tie on the bottom. Little hybrid technique. Make sure the material is kind of spread evenly top and bottom. Some of my material is getting away from me here. That's okay. Excuse me. Alright, what the hell is going on here? I'm like... It got all screwed up here. Let's redo that. I gotta wrap down with a little bit more pressure so it doesn't move on me like that. It doesn't take much. You only need a couple wraps to do these sort of ties, but you need them to be tight enough to where your material doesn't move on you. I could V-tie this section. Go here. Make sure it's kind of spread around nice and even. Again, this Easy Body is going to give us a nice profile. And then we just do a head at the front section. I feel like maybe we should try and use the larger material for the front section. Because I feel like it's not going to be big enough. We got to tie more material. I'm just thinking to myself. Like maybe we should have went with that for the back section. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'll take a look here at the Discord in a sec, see what you whipped up. Let's go with some pink and some olive. Kind of my favorites. Oh, I gotta wrap up some deceivers, and then I got some other flies to tie. I gotta start getting ready for rooster fish stuff now, and then I need to, I want to start putting flies on Anglers Marketplace because they just finally redid all their stuff, so they reached out. Got to get going with some of this flies. like this for the belly. We'll keep it long up top. At least I can see which ties are which because of the color of the material now. It's a little easier. Instead of having it mix up both sides. I don't even know how many ties I necessarily want to do, but we're kind of just free balling this. I just know we have a spreader in the back, and then we have, what do you call it? We have our head in the front. Make me one. What's going on, chemistry? What's that? What do you want made? Huh? So the one thing is you don't actually really need a ton of material here. So let's go for the belly. We're going to do one more tie. I think I want to add some crystal flash before I add the last section, if you will. Cut that in half. Taper it slightly. I have a bunch of cool colors of crystal flash because I've been using it for orders. I think I want the ghost. Gray ghost. It's not coming out very easily. There we go. Cut this in half. I think I want this on top. Like this. I don't really want it to foul, so I kind of kept it shorter, but I need one for stripers and bass like this for the winter. What color do you like the most? I need a dark green with bright green fly and a brown with tan fly. I mean, what are they eating is the real question, and how are you going to be fishing? I don't think the colors matter as much personally, but that's just me. It's more so the profile of the fly, and like really the presentation is the most important thing, how you present the fly. And the rest is all your personal preference. And obviously like the profile of the fly. So what are you trying to match? What sort of bait, right? Stuff like that. Like what are they eating? Has my phone been making noise? What the hell is... Keep hearing something. We'll grab some olive. We want to keep the colors nice and long up top, so it'll go all the way back. And now I think we should just be able to make the cone head. If I'm not mistaken. But we could certainly tie whatever you need. If you want to... The best way to reach out to me is on Instagram about orders. If not, then like email or something. But if you're just asking for advice, there's so many different flies. I guess we could have used this one. But what is the bait that they're foraging on the most? And that way I can know what sort of flies to recommend. Are you going to be fishing sinking lines because it's winter? You know what? I think we could have used this size. I think I was overestimating how large it actually is, but... Oh, my bad. Do we want to do one more collar? Let's do one more collar. I think we have enough room. I'll try and keep it light. Yeah, you know, I'm really trying to keep it sparse because I really find myself using just the slightest amount of too much material at times on synthetic flies like this. Because Henry Cowan sent me his Magnum bait fish, and it was much sparser than I thought it would be if I were to tie it. It was a good reminder. Or even some of Sadati's flies, when I look at some of Mark's flies, they're sparser than how I would tie them, because naturally in my head I'm like, I tend to go a little heavy at times. And it's still fishable and everything's perfectly fine, but it's just like a preference thing and a look that... We did bring up a dark brown. But I think I like black here as the final color for the colors. Maybe, I guess you could argue more olive. And I might go more olive. But I kind of like the black on top. I'm a sucker for black over colors on flies. I don't know why. It reminds me of peacock curl and older fly tying, where it always would have a dark back to the fly. Might be a little excessive, the amount that I'm using, but it's fine. I think it looks pretty good. And here we're gonna have the material be a little longer in the back than in the front, so we get that natural taper. Now we can do the head. We can brush this out. I think it's good. It's much bulkier than it appears because of the cone. I like that little bit of crystal flash in there. That was nice. Props to Rich Murphy. I think the crystal flash is a nice addition. I approve. For sure. And now we try the jumbo tube. Let's do it. Let us do it. I need to make sure I have like enough room to actually physically push this back and tie it. So let me make sure. And essentially what we're going to do is bada bing, bada boom, one of those. I think I need to push it further back, no? You know what we're going to do? Let me not try and push it. Let me just tie it further back on top of this and not be an idiot about it. It probably would have solved all my issues to begin with. Make sure this material isn't getting oppressed, pushed down, compressed. And oppressed. Could be oppressed. But now I feel like I could see why I like it further up. Because now you have this gap. Alright, I see. It's alright. Let's just wrap it down now. I could see that you'll end up with this gap. We don't want that. You'll see here in a sec. You shall see. Think I like that better? Let me do this real quick. Now this is the tricky part. I didn't leave myself a ton of room. And that's on me. There we go. That should be better. Think that gives me a little bit more room to finagle? Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is this. Let's see if this works. I should have left myself more room. I probably could have tied it on that bump, but I don't know. It kind of, the cone didn't look as nice to me. Maybe I should have tied it on that bump because now I kind of effed myself. But there might be a sweet spot we can catch it. You know what? I'm happy with that because we can just burn the excess. Do a little trimming. And then I have my hot wire tool. Ideally, you want to leave yourself enough room. When in doubt, force it. Clean it up afterwards. I think we did that right. Right? Oh, we didn't go far enough back, did we? Oh, man, maybe I got to tie a larger piece of tubing now that I realize it. That's all right. We'll redo it. I think you want the tubing to literally cover this entire piece. I see now, I see. I told you I'm not the best at this. This is why we're doing this, to get better at it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this real quick. I'm going to save this piece. I can use it for something else, I'm sure. I'm not going to throw it away. This is why I do this on live stream. So if I go to do a fly tying tutorial, it doesn't take me. Well, I haven't done this, the cone head thing in a while. It's been a while since I've done this with the larger style. I remember when we were tying the shark flies, we were doing this all the time. We need it to be way longer, right? So let's think. We're going to be tying it. It's going to fold all the way back. So theoretically, you think it's got to be like what? Does it need to be twice as long? I'm just going to leave it extra long. I'm going to gauge. Is it going to be twice? I don't know. Let's see. Something like this. We'll give ourselves more room this time, so we don't need to deal with the issue of not having enough room to fold it back. God, I love super glue. All right. Usually go... Sorry, I haven't been paying attention, chat. I'm trying to make sure I tie this thing properly. So also, like, you got to be careful with how this is laid right here. This is on me. You got to make sure you have your tubing laying properly. There we go. This is how you actually tie this thing. Now, unless I'm an idiot. Am I an idiot and I'm doing it wrong? No, right? Nope. Unfortunately, we don't have a large... Oh. No, I guess we could have used the silvery one. Ah, damn. Damn it. I guess we still can. Ah, we've already used this one. I'm going to color this one. That's what we'll do. We'll color it with the Copic marker. Yeah, we'll color it. And we got the lateral scale right on the side by accident. I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot about the lateral scale. Okay, I think what we can do here is we can cut it. Cut a little thing here. Little slit. Now we can wrap it. Oh. This is just me, like, being an idiot. Not figuring it out right away. Yeah, oh, dude, I could have used the pearl one. I forgot. That's okay. Do I want it? How do I want to position it? Do we want it further back? No, I think that's pretty good. Kind of want the more like wider profile up top, right? Top and bottom. I usually go bass fishing, but when they are not biting, I use flies to get them. I do best with those two colors for lures. Then if that's what you're most confident in, that's always what I recommend using. And it also could just be like that's what the fish like in the area too or something, right? But Clousers or half and halves, fantastic for deeper water, just classic sort of saltwater fishing, and works for bass too. But now we can also get into things like, let me just wrap this off here real quick. We can also get into like larger streamers, like stuff like this. So there's stuff like Sadati Slammers. Are you looking for me to tie something for you? Or are you looking, you're just asking for recommendations? Any sort of streamer fly with some weight to it to get down. It doesn't need weight if you have a sinking line. But any sort of, you know, depending on the size you're looking to use. I'd say a 5-6 inch maybe, especially if you got stripers around. But you can always drop it a little bit. I mean, we were catching largemouth on like 10-inch herring flies this spring because they were eating herring that come in from the ocean and go up through the creeks into a freshwater lake. Okay, I'll take a look here in a sec. So what we could do is coat this section in some resin and then burn the excess crap at a later date. All right. Let's use our Copic marker. I'm going to try and not cover up the pink either. Like so. Well, my desk was clean. Now it's covered in Easy Body and C4R fiber everywhere. Let's put some eyes on here. I think we want to go 3D, not 3D, stick-on eyes. And then we'll cover it with some liquid fusion or something. Probably the best bet. I think this looks good, this size. Doo-doo, doo-doo. One thing about this, bend your eyes. Try and match the curve of the tubing. It'll be way easier to get them secure properly. A 5-weight line? Yeah, so you're going to want to use some smaller flies then, so you could throw it properly. 2 flies. I'm going to be honest with you, brother, unless you're, what do you call it? Ordering some larger streamers or something, you're better off just getting a couple Clousers or a couple flies from saltwaterflies.com or something, you know? I could tie you a couple deceivers, but unless you want something that's, what do you call it, something more specialized, you know? Because with a 5-weight, like, you would never be able to throw a fly like this, for instance, or something. Like, you can get a couple smaller bass flies or something, but you don't need anything too fancy. I'm going to try and put some flies up on Angler's Marketplace for you guys, if you're interested. Because I do custom orders and stuff, but I try not to usually just tie like 1 or 2 flies, unless I have the flies already tied. Especially when, I'm not saying you are, but people will like order custom flies and then want like, it's different if we're talking about like beast flies or something. But we can certainly do it. We can certainly tie you a couple flies. A 5-weight, or you got a little bit larger. What's the length? The main thing is if you actually want to order flies, reach out to me on either by email, which if you go to my Instagram, it'll have it. Or if you go to Instagram, you could DM me there. But probably, let me see. Not that this is the fly that I would tie, but probably something like this size, I feel like wouldn't be bad. You could throw it on a 5-weight. So, but you can always feel free to reach out. I don't do fly orders while I'm on stream, though. I've had people come in like like donate and be like, all right, I want you to tie me 10 of these and that. I'm like, whoa, slow your horses. But if you, like, for instance, have any certain flies that you like in particular, I could tie a couple, right? And if not, then I could give a couple recommendations and you could pick something if you want. I plan on setting up essentially like using a place called Angler's Marketplace. It'd be just like going to a website and buying stuff, but use them so I don't have to pay for a website. And it gives a place for people like me to like sell my flies. So I'm probably going to start doing that so it's easier for you folks to just like go and buy a couple flies instead of having to go through the process of trying to make a custom order. It's one thing if somebody's like a guide is ordering like hundreds of flies, you know, but it'd be nice to have an easy way for people to, what do you call it? To like grab a couple flies without having to go through all the rigmarole. That being said, I'll certainly gladly tie you some flies until I have all that set up. So I'm going to put a little liquid fusion over the Copic marker, very light layer, just to try and stop it from fading. You can use Softex. Yeah, like 3 inches, 3.5 inches. 4 inches max, because you don't want to throw something too big on a 5-weight, you know. Oh, I missed something, Hayes. What did you get? Oh, you have a new intermediate setup? 11.5 foot rod? Okay. A 13.7 foot leader. That's got to be some weird European measurement. 13.7. Is that some weird European thing? You couldn't do 13 and a half? You had to throw a .7 at me, huh, bro? I usually fish live. I need something that works. I would like a fly that looks like a shrimp. Okay. Yeah, like I said, reach out on Instagram or via email at lifliesmike@gmail. And we'll get you set up if you want. We'll see if any of the flies I tie are the right fit. I mean, I could tie just pretty much anything, but one thing I try not to do is order materials for a. I had somebody recently want like this certain fly in this certain color. He's like, yeah, I want like one or two of them. And I'm like, you realize I have to spend like $12 on a package, right, dude? Like, you got to order more than two. What I can do is I can use the material I already have. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that then. This fly's pretty sick, dude. I want to tie this on like a 6 weight or a 6-odd. I'm glad we upped up the tubing. If I knew this, I would have gone with bigger tubing in the rear, and I should have, but that's okay. I thought it was too big for this hook, but I guess it's actually kind of works pretty good because it's collapsible too. So if you do get a fish, I mean, it's not like this is going to impede in any way. Do you have a fly that is the biggest fly I can throw on my 10 weight? Yeah, sure. Is it here? Oh, it's here. To be fair, the guy who tied this fly can throw it on a 5 weight, but you could throw this on a 10 weight. There's a Mark Sadati tied Sadati Slammer. About on almost the same size hook too. That's for fishing for striped bass in somewhere essentially off a boat in deep water like Block Island or Montauk, and we're fishing in like 60 to 100 foot of water. And this is the size of an adult bunker right here. Something like this. This is what a real adult bunker looks like compared to my hand, you can see. And I got pretty big hands. Not massive, but it's a pretty big fly, but the bait is massive as well. And then this is another one of his flies, the Flash Receiver. He brought Flash, but I think he ended up using some of mine. I think he ended up using about... I think he used like a good chunk of my Flash that day or something. Yeah, you could throw that with a bait casting reel. So I watched Mark Sadati throw a fly like that on a 5 weight. But a lot of it has to do with like the weight on the keel and also just the caster. But you can throw that on a 10 weight. I was fishing one on an 11 weight, but you could throw that on a 10 weight, no problem. We want to just make sure all this material is kind of spread evenly. Dude, this fly looks sick. So I think you can get the cone sitting a little bit flatter. I think what happened is the way I wrapped it, it pinched the cone on the inside. So when I folded it, there's a crease. So I think it didn't lay perfectly flat. But I mean, I'm not going to complain. Pretty nice profile on this fly. The Rich Murphy, man. I mean, mind you, the two flies that we've tied of his, they're very similar. Obviously, though, this is kind of much larger and a different utilization. But I also feel like we do need this needs to be on like a 6-odd hook. In reality, probably. I mean, there's not a lot of material. I think it's going to keel fine, but I would like a little bit of a larger gap hook. You know what I mean? Yo, Santa Sports Fishing, how you doing? How you guys doing down there? Are What's the season down in Baja right now? I saw you guys been catching tuna, skipjacks or something, or some sort of tuna species. I see you guys posting on Instagram. What size hook was on that big ass fly? It was like a 5-aught or 6-aught. Oh god, what hook is Mark using? It's some sort of Gamakatsu. It's not even a fly hook, I don't think. It's like some sort of Gamakatsu hook, inline hook or something. I don't even know. I don't remember what hook he was using. I don't think it's a fly hook. I think it's some sort of Gamakatsu bait hook or something. I don't remember. I did see him tie that fly like that on the octopus style hook back in the day. So the main thing is you don't want an octopus hook with the turned eye. You want an octopus hook with a flat eye. You know what I mean? Or Raritan Bay. You can't forget about Jersey, of course. I never knew what size flies I could throw. Yeah, well, so it's going to depend on your skill set, right? But it's also going to depend on the fly. Like, if you tie a fly that big, it doesn't mean you're going to always be able to throw it, right? It depends on, like, that fly in particular has, like, a lead wire wrapped through it on the keel to offset it and stuff. But, like, if you get the right setup and you have the right casting skill, like, you can throw that 80 feet, you know what I mean? Without, like, too much work, you know what I mean? But if you don't have, like, the right line set up and you tie a fly like that, but you add, like, too much material and it doesn't have a heavy enough hook to keel it and stuff like that, or the lead keel or whatever it may be, then it could get tough real quick. But you should be able to throw a big bunker fly on a 10 weight. You may not be able to throw it for 6 to 8 hours in the surf. You know what I mean? Well, you should be good then. I wouldn't. That fly's pretty big. That's really not even. I mean, you can cast it, but that fly isn't designed for cast fishing. That fly is designed for flipping over the side of the boat, and then, like, what do you call it? Using extremely fast sinking lines to get down deep. Now, that being said, I do take those flies and cast them into bunker schools while I fish off boats. So it's perfect. You can perfectly do that. Another fly, for instance, this right here, for instance, a little bit smaller of a fly in terms of, like, size and profile. This is Henry Cowan's Magnum baitfish. Very similar, but you could see it's like different amount of material, different style in the way it's tied and stuff like that. This fly, easily you can throw, and same thing, Mark's fly. I mean, Mark's fly you can throw on a 10 weight, but this you could, like, take this and fish it all day, essentially. It's like, you can see it's, like, pretty sparse. There is, again, though, the thing there's a ton of lead wire wrapped underneath this right here. And that's because you need that to make sure that the fly, A, turns over properly, and the fly itself, I mean, the weight itself helps the fly punch through the wind. So, yeah, you'll see Henry's flies in shops. I don't know if they tie some of his patterns. He told me they stopped tying some of his patterns or selling some of his. I forgot which one, but. Awesome guy, by the way. Also being able to, like, it's just cool. I get to, like, talk to people that I've read articles and like I've looked up to Henry's fly tying and people like David Nelson or Johnny Keynes. Not that I've talked to Johnny Keynes much, but I have talked to Johnny Keynes some, and, like, all these different people. And what do you call it? And you know, I don't know. Fly fishing community is great. Over here, it's been raining like hell. The Cortez side ended the last week of November, so now you landed a few roosters still. Yeah. Now I'm tying flies for next season, getting ready for Mag Bay. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Oh, is Mag Bay, is that where, because the guys that, what the hell is the name of that lodge? Some white woman that owns it down there. That the guy that I tied all those flies for, but I think they were saying, because I followed her on Instagram, and there's like some sort of winter fishing that they go do where they go out and it's like, what is it, billfish or something? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know if it's in the ocean or something. They're gearing up for some different sort of. Sounds familiar. Maybe what it is. 10 weight for small tarpon and bigger snook. Yeah. Yeah, so like something like this, no problem. You should be able to throw this on a 10 weight. You should be able to throw this fly, honestly, on like a 9 weight or an 8 weight. This fly is like, there's like nothing on here. This is like super, super lightweight sort of fly. It's funny because I have people message me and they're like, can I throw that fly on an 8 weight? And they're like, they send me a photo of like a deceiver, like a bucktail deceiver. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I'm like, I think a lot of it has to do with that, especially beginner fly tyers or fly fishers, having like I feel like a lot of starter fly rods are good enough nowadays, right? Unless you're getting like a Walmart special or something. I don't know what they're like. But really where it comes down to is you can get a pretty decent rod and stuff, but it's the line sucks. So if you don't have like a good line, then you're going to have a really hard time fishing because the line is what is doing a lot of the work. The rod is the backbone, but the line is like has all the energy, essentially, that's making your rod load. So I remember I had a really shitty like starter setup, and when I got like a real fly line, I was like, oh, you're supposed to be able to cast more than 30 feet. You know, like, I don't know, it's just funny. Because I just thinking about like how people ask me on Instagram and stuff. Like I post a photo of a fly that, can I fish that on an 8 weight, you know, or something? But I think there's like a misconception that like if a fly is like large, then that must mean it's uncastable. But a good fly in its design, even though it's big, should cast. It maybe not cast as easily as a very light, small fly. Once you switch from a big fly to a light fly, you'll feel the difference, right? But, you know, there's trade-offs. You're not going to be able to get a bunker profile with a deceiver as opposed to, like, fishing a big slammer or something like Cowan's fly. I was a beginner learning catching beach snook, so I learned the hard way. Free piercings, yep. The sardine run is on the Pacific side. Oh, okay, yep. You should do a beginner series. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've done all sorts of stuff. We have a striped bass series, which kind of just goes, that's kind of like not even a beginner series. That's just like beginner medium, I guess you could say. But that's something that we're gonna continue working on is our fly fishing for striped bass series. So, and we can do one for just saltwater fly fishing in general when it comes to like getting into it. You know what I mean? For sure. We need some math nerd to figure out the line weight, leader length, fly weight ratio for max castability. Yeah. The funny thing is each rod's different, right? The person casting is a variability within the factor. So I guess if you had some sort of robot casting and you could figure out what's the best setup. But I think if you took two different rod manufacturers, it would be different. Maybe not. I guess there's less variability in fly rods than there is fly lines, I want to say. I feel like, right? I feel like you could, like, whether I hand somebody a TFO for $200 or like a Hardy or some crazy ass expensive rod, I feel like that will make less of a difference as opposed to having a crappy fly line or a good fly line. Oh my god, I love TFOs. TFOs, Rise, they have some great cheaper options. Anything under $300, I'm in. Like $130 for a fly rod, $150 for a fly rod, count me in. Because guess what? I'm probably going to break it at some point. I break a lot of fly rods. When you go fishing every day and you're walking in the mud and you stumble and or you smack a clouser in 50-mile-per-hour wind and you hear that smack up against the fly rod, you know that fly rod's going to break in like 2 months from now. It's going to happen. The Behemoth's a great reel. I love my Behemoth. That's why. Am I using the Behemoth? Yeah, I think I'm using. Oh no, I'm using the Grande. Yeah, I'm using a Grande for my offshore. I have a Grande that's literally this big. It has 700 meters of backing. I'll say it again. 700 meters of backing. My buddy said, you better hope you never get to the end of this because it'll take half a day to reel all that in. The reel is massive. I got it for like shark and billfish and tuna. Caught a couple shark on it, and we got in the backing, but we only got like 50, 100 yards in the backing, not hundreds of meters. But yeah, this is a cool fly. I like it. And the Easy Body is really nice to tie with. I have gotten like cheap knockoff stuff because like some fly shops will sell it and stuff. It's like that conduit tubing, but that stuff is not anywhere near as nice to tie as this stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like you can get that stuff, almost like the Alflexo tubing or whatever. It just doesn't work as good for this sort of stuff. There's like an actual difference you can tell when you're tying with it. It's just how it like folds. All right, chemistry. Now I know you're you're trolling me or what, but you can I'm sure you can find two flies online. I've told you like 15 times now, if you're actually serious, I don't do business on stream. And now you want me to tie two flies and you can get a percentage of the cut for for the design? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Get the fuck out of here. What are we talking about? Hello? You alright? Now I know you're fucking trolling me. It depends on the caster, but the fly line has its insane impact. Oh, 100%. Prices of fly line are crazy high nowadays. Come with the Grande down here. Oh god, I love it. I would love to, dude. I'm just trying to do business, G. Man, you're gonna don't go into people's streams and be like, "Yo, let me buy two flies. We could get the design. We can get 2%." Like, what are we talking about here? Are we on that Sigma grind set or something? What are we talking about here? All right, well, I'm good. Dude, I would... If there's a place that the Grande would actually be put to use, it would probably be Baja. Unfortunately, I don't... The only tuna you can get around here are over 500 pounds, and apparently everyone's telling me not to catch those, so... Ah, it's all good, HB. All good, G. That's why you need to reply, mate. What? Look, one day I'll come down and fish with you guys in Baja. I already got my in. We got Baja fishing on Instagram. If there's any other place, where else would you go fishing with if you go down to Baja than Baja Fishing on Instagram? That is your guys' name, right? Yeah. I mean, you got the name, right? Like, doesn't get much better than that. Oh god, I feel like you're somebody that has watched the stream that is trolling. Like you can't be HBC, right? Angling Baja. There you go. That's what it is. Angling Baja. There you go. That's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, shout out if you guys are interested. Go check out Angling Baja. One day I'll go down there. I'll fish with you guys. We'll do it. All right. Man, I'm still kind of like I'm every once in a while I'm looking over trying to figure out. I've been like trying to figure out why this these alerts didn't work, but I gotta look this up. I have no idea what's going on with that. All right. I finally just remembered. Yeah, selling flies for 25 bucks. Good luck with that. Unless you want to try and tie some mediocre beast flies or something, then you can. No, I mean, I'd sell my squimper shallows for like 20, 25, but I don't know, my bread and butter tying. There's two ways you can go about trying to make money in fly tying. You can either tie a bunch of flies and be broke, or you could tie a couple of flies and be broke. So it's really up to you how you go about it. See? I like it. A sparser amount of materials compared to the last one. You see, this is like double the amount of material that's on the second one. I like it. So now, do you know that the dumbbell eyes can turn the flies to cause turnover? They probably won't with this. Not only because it's an octopus hook, but because the weight of the hook is too heavy to turn it over. But it doesn't matter because you'll get like a jigging motion up and down. But if you took this eye and you tied it on a slightly probably thinner hook with a straight eye, and you make sure that you have more material on the underside, it'll flip over. But this looks great. You can just fish it as is, and it'll just essentially jig up and down. But I don't know how you're trying to fish it. But it looks good. I mean, your thread wraps aren't that messy either. Like for like not tying much. Like you'd be surprised. Like this right here is pretty darn clean. What you can find, by the way, is you can do, don't cut the material after you tie it on there. Cut the material first. So what you do is you take the material in your hands like this. You take your material first and you cut it nice and flush. I'm going to do this off screen so I don't have material go everywhere. Like that. And then what you do is you take it and you tie it in. So that way you don't have to trim it afterwards, if that's what you're talking about. The fly in the thumbnail is a Mickelson's epoxy baitfish, it's called. But other than that, looks good. Yeah, so if you get a better thread, you see how it's all like, this is almost like thread that you would use to like wrap a white body on a trout fly or something, you know? See how it's all like, once you get a better thread, it'll be much easier because you see how it's fraying on you. It makes it a lot harder to tie, by the way, when it's like that. Okay, I remember we looked at this. We missed this, though. Bamboozled. Shout out to Bamboozled for always posting sick photos. Damn, look at the colors on that fish, bro. Classic little articulated trout. Articulated fly, brown trout. And let's see. We have Cragger Roll. Oh, yeah, Kea. Yeah, we saw this. We missed this on stream last time. This is David's over in Hawaii. Beast fly. Articulated beast fly, it looks like, as well. Which if you didn't see last stream, we tied some of these. I was like, damn, these look sick, dude. This reminds me of like older fly tying from the late 90s, early 2000s. I love this sort of stuff right here. And then this is him again over. We got, this is one of the little mutton snappers. What is it? Blue striped snapper. God, man. The fly, like, this is just being in Hawaii, you get to tie such cool flies. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Looks like one to me. Wow, he's even putting his flies in bags. Look at that. Let's go. So, that's when you know you're getting serious. You're putting your fly in bags. Now, we're located in New York. Oh, shit. God damn it. Jerry. That's it, Jerry. You're fired for the weekend. I don't want to see you. Just pack up your things and leave. Okay? Get out of here, Jerry. You're fired. Nope. We're not talking about it. We'll talk about it on Monday. All right? Sorry about that. Jerry does all the VFX. I had to let him go. Enough's enough. We had a thing on the bar. 365 days since Jerry's been fired, but we're gonna have to make that a 0. Beautiful brown trout. You guys, I was like, oh man, look at that trout. You guys were, yeah, on Twitch. I'm just showing YouTube. No, you guys don't get to see the screen. Nah, sorry, Twitch. No, I just forgot to hit the button. That was a test to really see if you guys were paying attention, by the way. Make sure you guys aren't bots. Like, how do I know you're not a bot, Cracker Roll, huh? That's how I know. To anyone who didn't say anything, suspicions have gone up. Nah, I just forgot to hit the button. But bamboozled with a beautiful looking brown trout. Articulated fly. Jerry, we'll just run it back. David's flies. Beautiful. Remind me of the 90s and 2000s. I'm trying to remember all of the commentary I already did. Here's a articulated beast fly. He's over in Hawaii. We like it. And blue striped snapper. Wow, look at that. Isn't that so cool? I wish it must be so cool being in Hawaii, being able to tie all these cool flies. Yep, there you go. Looks pretty good. I'm trying to remember all the commentary I already said, right? And you didn't get to see any of this, right? Me talking about your fly for like 5 minutes? Or did you? I think you did, right? I think you did. Look, it's getting late in the stream. It's almost been 3 hours. We're about to wrap it up, all right, Jerry? You saw the Clouser. Okay, good. And we got Craggerows going to Chile. Chile. And you're going to go fish these beautiful looking flies with ugly ass looking indicators. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Maybe I should have a YouTube moment. Nah, these are streamers. Yeah, we saw them. Okay. These, I hope you're chucking meat. You're not going to be floating them under bobbers, right? You're going to be chucking these, trying to snag spawning trout, right? That's the right way of fishing them, right? Fishing on reds, chucking meat. Something like that. Oh, God. See, this is what, usually I have a couple, I knock back a couple of White Girl White Claws while I'm streaming, but I haven't drinking anything tonight. I feel like I'm drunk by the time I'm done streaming because I'm just delusional because I just talk for 3 hours. Those won't be on indicators, I promise. Okay, thank God. Thank God. Woo. Beautiful. Beautiful. We did it, folks. Not only did I test you guys to make sure you're watching the stream, but yeah. So I just had a moment there. I have like 3 different monitors. I have 2 monitors, but there's my monitor on my right is split up. And let me see. Can I show you guys? No, I can't really show you guys. And I had a moment there where I didn't know where my mouse was. Like I was trying to figure out which monitor I was supposed to be looking at while I'm working with this mouse. All right. very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the ramblings of a crazy person while tying flies. So appreciate all you folks for tuning in and watching. Shout out to Easy Body for, again, sending me some materials to play with. There was no, like, you know, I'm not supposed to do anything. And we just talked to Bill, and he sent me some stuff. And it's not like I'm, like, technically sponsored or anything like that. So I just want to be, upfront with you guys and honest. There might be a point where we, like, do some sort of sponsored thing or something with them, or some sort of more in-depth collaboration. But for now, he just sent me some material to play with. I mean, I can't be grateful enough. Not only do I get to now work, like, I've been tying with this stuff for so long, so it's just like, I don't know, it's cool. But the new video did fantastic. Shout out to everyone again who was watching the new loop fly video, because that did really well. So now I got to think about what's the next video I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be a hard one to follow up because that fly was cool. So I'm gonna have to figure it out. But I think we'll probably have to do a video on this thing as well, because this is just a fun fly. And I was kind of like, it's tough. Like I'm like, what do I do? What's the next fly I'm gonna do? I want it to be a cool one that people are gonna like, but I don't want to just like, I want it to be like a functional, like, what's a cool fly that I haven't done a video on? So it was nice. Like, I got some inspiration being sent all this Easy Body material, because I was like, there's this, there's that, but then, that loop fly was a nice breath of fresh air for me to record. So anyways, thanks again, chat. I hope you guys have an awesome night. Thanks for stopping by and watching some tying. And we'll see you guys next Friday. We have another video coming out. It's probably going to be on like Sunday or Monday or something. I don't know. We'll see. But it might be something like this, or it might be something different. I don't know. But I'll let you guys know. I'll post in the Discord. So thanks again. Have an awesome weekend. Paul, sound to sport fishing again. Appreciate it. Fishing Mechanic. Cragger Roll. Appreciate it. Excuse me. HC. Thanks again, dude. Even though you were, I feel like you were half trolling me. And yeah. Did we miss any? Oh, Brew. Thank you again, dude, for the 71 months, by the way, my friend. You're psychotic. And Rev with the gift sub, or the gift membership as well, even though my alerts didn't properly show it. But thank you again, guys. You have an awesome weekend, and I'll talk to you soon, all right? All right. Take it easy.